she has a little bit of that defensive headset, so I'm going to wait till she's kind of centered and relaxed before I take my arm away. Now I will hold the stick out for her. Good, same thing, and release. So that's good. I was able to put a little pressure on her forehead area, petting it, with not too much reaction there. I'm going to work on just moving this back and forth, and I'm going to wait to see some sign of relaxation from her. Whether it be her eyes softening, her nostrils flaring less, her head falling down, less swishing of the tail. I can see her muscle shaking a little bit in her shoulder, so again, I'll wait for her to have her attention and energy on like this inside area, but be a little more relaxed. And I try to stay very rhythmic with my motions here. Good. I like that she acknowledged it, so I'll give her a break. That time her walk up to me was a little more confident, so I stopped backing up to release, and then she decided that there's no more space for her to come in, which is when she got a little bit nervous and anxious and turned away. But I found with some of these guys that are scared but then confident when you release, that's when they start to come in towards you faster. So I try to get a little bit better with my timing and kind of recognizing when they're like that, so I know when to stand still. Nervous when you start touching their mane and trying to flip it over, and she's pretty good about this. I was able to scratch her withers with the stick. I haven't tried going that far back yet with my hand. I want to go to a few new spots with the stick before I go with my hand. If she's moving around, I'll keep making the noise, and if she settles, I'll release it. So I'll start right here because I saw her kind of flinch from it. And I do this because, like, yeah, I can kind of quietly move the snap, but it still makes a little bit of a spring noise. And I don't want her to, if I have to go in there to unsnap it, I don't want her to necessarily spook at the noise and, like, rip away with the lead rope or anything. I'd rather prep her a little bit with the sound before I put it on there. And I'm going to go ahead and just let it dangle and then drop it if she turns super far. I'm not going to make any pressure on it right now. Like I said, if I need to, I'll drop it. Good. I'm going to go back up to her, approach her, and pet her.
Yesterday or today.
Good. And then I'll let her have her little rope. Oh, it's a scary rope. It's a snake.
She's the first one to act like that. Get it. Aww. That's a small horse halter.
Is it?
She's got a little head, yeah.
Yeah, her head's not super big.
I have to wash her halters because they got it all in the mud.
Oh, it's fine.
I got her eating some of the alfalfa grass pellets.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, I've just been pouring them down. She's been kind of eating at them, so.
Just like mixed in with the hay?
Mm-hmm. Just pour on top.
Awesome. So I decided with her to have her go forward first. She's pretty good driving from behind. I like that I've been able to kind of tap her tail and her hind legs. And then I add a little bit of pressure, and as soon as she tips that nose in, I release. And then sometimes she'll give me those extra steps coming in, and I just try to stay super soft on her nose. Good. Good. Good, and then I'll leave her be. Super, and I'll go back into sending her forward. I don't think I'm gonna touch on the other side tonight, only because she's pretty confident on this side right now with me being over here, and I don't think I wanna start the battle of getting her confident on the other side quite yet. But I like how she's responding to this pressure. We haven't had any huge major blowouts. The most is honestly just when I'm going up to her to pet her and she's kind of moving her head away. So I'm gonna hold this pressure here, good, and release when I get that cross. There we go. Good, and that was a little straighter of a step, so I'm pretty happy with that one. So we'll see if I can approach her. I'll let her finish there on the session. So right there, I'm gonna let go because I don't want to necessarily get into a big fight with her. So before I let that pressure hit the end of the rope, I released. So I'm gonna keep her moving and I'll show you guys how I get the rope back when it is dragging. So once she settles, I'm gonna use a stick just because I'm still getting to know if she's sensitive with her front end or not. And I'm gonna kind of loop it around the rope to pull it out. There we go. Good. Good girl. Good. So with this method, I just kind of cut off her front movement there, stepping in front of her drive line to get her to slow down. That way I can just slow down her thinking and not have her running off. Good. Good girl. I totally thought the session was going to end there, and then I asked her for another step, and that is when chaos happened. I'm not going to include the whole entire clip because it's probably about 7 or 8 minutes long. I'm just going to include this section right here, which shows just some of the highlights on how she felt about the lead rope. This is my mare's first time with the lead rope on, and honestly it was more a reaction to the pressure and the fact that the rope was even there. She was super reactive with her front end, and I wasn't going to show this footage just because some people make assumptions and don't really watch the whole thing or really listen to it, but I thought it was important to share because it's not always beautiful moments that you get to see, but you do get to see progress and how I work her through them. And basically anytime she faces up with me and relaxes and is calm, isn't resisting, she gets that release and gets to rest. Now, one of the biggest things was that she was just really mad about it and stomping and angry and rearing and using her front legs quite a bit, especially when the rope would get tossed near her. So I did a lot of desensitizing with a stick and string, as well as just letting the rope kind of drag around. And it took her quite a while to get used to it, but she's gotten a lot better. You can see every time she does get a release, she computes it pretty fast. She's a really, really smart mare. She's been great to work with, and I'm happy I do have a flat halter on her because she is a little sensitive, and this way at least it's not digging into her. But it does look a little rough, but it's really important that I don't release when she is fighting the pressure and being resistant. Otherwise, she's going to learn that she can get away by doing that, and she won't ever get soft and be able to be a handleable horse. And right here you see that I have the stick and string in my backhand because it is easier to work with forward motion, so she doesn't just keep her feet still and get stuck. I can kind of drive her forward into it and then work on getting that nose to tip in. It's a lot easier than trying to pull one off balance or just kind of holding on while they stand there all stuck. So that's why I'm moving the whip around behind her. That's just to drive her forward, get that forward momentum. And this session wasn't super long. It's just she was pretty dramatic about it, and the next morning we had a really, really great session. So if I'm being honest on how I feel after yesterday, I don't think discouraged would be the right word, because I mean, I've gentled quite a few Mustangs, so I kind of know that they all have different points that they're good at. So I'm not like super upset that mine's very average Mustang. As far as like the gentling process goes, so far at this point after one day, it is weird to see other people that have gotten on theirs on day one, and it's just like, dang. Today's goal, I already went out there and put a lead rope on her and let her hang out with that. She's probably going to hang out with that all day today and tomorrow, and until she realizes it's not a snake, because that was kind of our exciting thing. It was going pretty well until then, until I almost ended the session and she was like, this is a snake. So today's goals will be starting to work on that offside that she's pretty guarded about, doesn't really want me over there. She hasn't done anything dangerous with me trying to get on that side, because I really haven't tried to. Probably working on yielding the hindquarters, touching more of the body, just overall relaxation with me in there. Like, you can tell she's obviously still snorty. She's seen me for one day, so a lot of it's going to be hanging out and just getting more mellow. And I don't know what else I want to do today. Maybe I'll work on introducing a halter over her other halters so I can eventually transition her to a rope halter. As everyone knows, horses have their own ideas, so I'll just go with the flow with her and see what it turns into.